Now let's discuss in detail the different types of extreme weather you're likely to encounter throughout the summer months. Driving in heavy rain is the most common type of extreme weather you'll encounter. Brandy Sheridan, another professional driver, will tell us more.
That's right. Heavy rain is very common in the summer months, and it can make road conditions challenging for the drivers. Unfortunately, many drivers take rain for granted and don't adjust their driving to meet these conditions. This is a mistake. Underestimating a summer storm can lead to an accident. It can reduce your visibility and decrease your traction all at the same time. What may seem like just a little drizzle can make the road very slippery and might even turn into a torrential downpour or thunderstorm at any moment. Road conditions are actually the most dangerous right after it starts to rain. Over time, gas, oil, dirt, and fuel form a thin layer of gunk on the roads. As rain falls and mixes with this gunk, the road becomes very slick. Heavy rains can also trigger flash flooding in certain areas, and thunderstorms can produce heavy rain, large hail, high winds, and dangerous lightning. So when it rains, it's critical to slow down and adjust for these conditions. Back to you.
Thanks, Brandy. Something else drivers need to be prepared for when the rain accumulates on the roadway is hydroplaning. This is when your tires start to ride on a thin film of water as it collects on the road. It's kind of like water skiing. The tires are no longer riding on the road, they're riding on top of the water. When this happens, you lose all traction and the ability to steer, brake, and control your truck. You can hydroplane at any speed, however, the faster you go, the higher the likelihood. If your truck does start to hydroplane, ease your foot off the accelerator. Remember, this is a loss of traction, so sudden movements could make the situation worse. Avoid turning sharply or suddenly braking. Let the vehicle gradually slow down until you regain traction. Wet brakes can also be an issue. When you drive in heavy rain or deep standing water that has accumulated due to the rain, your brakes can and probably will get wet. This can cause the linings to slip from the brake drum or disc, which can lead to uneven braking, a complete loss of brakes, wheel lockup, or even a jackknife. Of course, it's best to completely avoid any standing water because the depth of the water is not always obvious. But if you must drive through the water, take the following action to prevent wet brakes. First, slow down and shift to a lower gear. Place your foot lightly on the brake and gently apply pressure. This presses the lining against the brake drums or discs and keeps mud, silt, sand, and water from getting in. Then increase your engine speed and accelerate through the water, keeping light pressure on the brakes. Once you're out of the water, stay in the lower gear and keep your foot on the brake. Keep light pressure on the brakes for a short distance to dry them out, and then release them. Along with flowers, spring and summer showers can bring with them challenging driving conditions. Make sure to adjust your speed and following distance to the conditions you're driving in. Never use your Jake brake when the roads are wet, and plan ahead to avoid any sudden, panicked moves. If you feel the conditions are too severe to drive in, stop, find a safe haven, and wait until conditions improve. You're responsible for your safety and the safety of the truck, load, and those with whom you share the road. The decision to stop driving in inclement weather is completely up to you. Don't let yourself feel pressured by others to run in these situations. Just because other drivers are running doesn't mean it's safe for you to do so. Everyone's skill level is different. Fog is one of the most challenging conditions a driver can face. It can reduce your visibility to zero in an instant and dramatically increases the probability of chain reaction and fatality accidents. Fog is formed when warm air rises from the ground and is replaced by cold air. When a warm front and cold front meet, and when warm air travels over a cool surface like a lake or the ocean, fog can be encountered anywhere, but is especially common in places like the coast of California. It typically forms near mountain valleys, mountain peaks, moist open fields, and bodies of water. Professional driver Brenda Putva will tell us more.
Thanks. The best advice for driving in fog is don't. But as a professional driver, this isn't always possible. If you must drive when fog is present, remember the following safety tips to keep yourself and others safe on the road. First, always be alert for fog to suddenly appear when conditions are right. You may see a bank of fog ahead of you, but you can also encounter it suddenly when you go around a curve. Second, and most importantly, slow down and increase your following distance. before you enter fog. Almost all accidents in fog occur because drivers don't reduce their speed when their visibility is reduced. Remember, never drive faster than you can see. As you're driving through the fog, use your low beam headlights. Your high beams will reflect off the water vapor and actually decrease your visibility. Finally, be consistently alert for other vehicles around you. Listen for traffic you may not be able to see, and watch for vehicles on the side of the road. Seeing headlights or taillights in front of you may not be a true indication of where the road is ahead of you. The vehicle you're seeing may not even be on the road at all. If you know there's dense fog coming up along your route and you can find a safe place to stop, do it. If you're driving in fog and it's so dense that you cannot safely drive, find a safe haven and wait for condition to improve. For WTV, I'm Brenda Pudva. Thanks.